Now let's come to the EC2 options. What are the options we have to choose, and it's according to the cost. What are the options we have in AWS? So free tier. So when you create a free tier account in AWS, you get a 750 hours from the time of account creation. So you can use a free tier of instance for 750 hours. Next is on demand. On demand means whatever instances you will launch, it will be on demand and it will be charged per hour, on a per hour basis. So whatever the rate of that instance at that particular time, when you launch the instance, that the same rate will be charged for on an hourly basis. And one more thing to notice here is, if you launch an instance for even 10 seconds or 10 minutes, the whole hour will be charged for that instance. So that we have to keep in mind on the price, on the cost perspective. The third one is reserved. So suppose you need some instances which you know that you are going to use for 1 year or maybe 3 years or 2 years. So in that case, you can reserve that instance. The benefit of reserving that instance is you need to pay a bit less cost, and because you are going to reserve it for a long period of time. So there are some upfront cost you can pay, and your hourly basis charges will be reduced if you pay some upfront cost, or you can reserve it for the whole period of time without paying upfront cost. So that will be a bit costlier than the upfront case. However, like it will be always be reserved will always be cheaper than on demand. Now the third one is on spot or spot instances. So spot instances are like you are bidding for the instance. Like 4 to 5 people are bidding for the instance, and whoever will pay more for that bid, he will get the instance. And the interesting thing is with this on spot instances is, if somebody is bidding higher than you and your instances is running, they will get the instances as soon as possible, and your instances will be terminated. So only the non-critical, most of the people use on spot instances to process the non-critical applications or some testing purpose. So which will if they are losing the instance, it will not harm their business. So that is the case scenario of using on spot instances. Now the next thing is the storage types. When we launch an instance, we need to add some storage to it so that it will keep the OS files and additional storage for saving data and all. So we have two types of instances: local instance storage and elastic block storage. So instance storage means it's ideal for temporary storage. So when you launch an instance with instance storage, that and you shut down the server, the root volume will be saved into S3 bucket. So every time you shut down the server, the root data will be lost. So that is the problem with instance storage. So initially when AWS launched its servers, computing capability servers, it was using local instance storage, but because of this reason, that it was failed, it was not very successful. Then they came up with EBS storage. So EBS storage, like it is persistent with shutdown. So if you're shutting down your system or you're rebooting your system, your root volume will be attached to your instance. So that is the benefit with EBS storage. The instance store is ideal for temporary storage because the data stored in instance store volumes is not persistent through instance stops, terminations, or hardware failures. About EBS storage, for data you want to retain longer term, or if you need to encrypt the data, EBS volumes are recommended. EBS volumes preserve their data through instance stops and termination and can easily be backed up with EBS snapshots. The another advantage of EBS storage is you can do a full volume encryption. Now there are three types of storage backed by EBS. One is magnetic, general purpose, and provision. Magnetic is just used for like normal uses, and it has very low IOPS, means if if the transaction is happening very frequently, this is not the suitable choice. You can put the data at rest on magnetic, but frequent transactions are not advisable. General purpose is used for majority of users. It's good for users on in most of the cases. However, provisioned IOPS, they are used for high speed transactions like database servers. So when you use around like 4000 IOPS per volume, you can use provisioned IOPS in that case. So thank you for now. In next videos we'll discuss some practical scenarios of EC2. Thank you.